Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you feel drained, depressed, and dejected? You know the situation is bad for your mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. Yet, you find yourself unable to take that step, to walk away from it all. Why is it so hard to walk away from situations that are clearly doing us more harm than good? There are various reasons, one of the most common being the fear of being perceived as a failure or a quitter. We live in a society that idolizes resilience, determination, and perseverance. These are, without a doubt, virtues to admire and strive for. There is value in pushing through obstacles, in striving against the odds. But what happens when these obstacles are causing us harm, when the odds are tearing us down instead of building us up? This is where understanding the concept of walking away becomes crucial. Walking away is not synonymous with giving up or failing. It's more about strategic retreat. It's about knowing when the battle you're fighting is not worth the cost. Let me repeat that. It's about recognizing when the battle you're fighting is not worth the cost. Now, let's analyze this cost, this price we pay. When we talk about costs in this context, we're not just referring to financial losses. We're talking about the toll on our health, our relationships, our peace of mind, our growth. If the price is causing us more harm than the benefits we're receiving, then it's time for us to reconsider our position. In addition to the fear of being perceived as a failure, our hesitation to walk away is further complicated by our attachments. Attachments to the things we know, the people we are used to, the routine we have built for ourselves. It all creates a sense of familiarity and comfort. Even if this comfort is painful, it is still comfort because it is known. We live a significant part of our lives within the confines of these attachments, to our jobs, our partners, our friendships, and even our habits. These attachments, as powerful as they may be, are usually formed unconsciously over time. Over time, we start to identify ourselves with these attachments. They become a part of our identity, our definition of self. And walking away from them feels like we're losing a part of ourselves. That is what makes it so difficult to walk away. It's not just about leaving a situation or a person behind. It's about leaving a part of ourselves behind. It's about dismantling the world we have constructed, the world we identify with, the world we are comfortable in, and stepping into the unknown. But don't let the fear of being seen as a failure or the fear of losing your attachments hold you back. The decision to walk away is indeed complex, wrapped up in layers of fears and attachments. But it's a decision that needs to be made when the environment becomes toxic. Because staying in such an environment is not just about enduring the present, it's about compromising your future. It's about letting go of your potential, your dreams, your happiness. So, the question is not whether you can afford to walk away. No. The real question is, can you afford not to? Walking away is not an act of defeat. It is, in fact, an act of power. It is an assertion of your personal strength, your resilience, and your capacity to thrive independently. Each decision to walk away is a testament to your self-worth, a statement that declares, I deserve better. You see, walking away is not about running, it's about liberation. It's about freeing yourself from circumstances that are detrimental to your growth. It's about choosing yourself over a situation that doesn't serve you. It's about you asserting your right to happiness, peace, and personal well-being. But here, we encounter our old friends, fear and attachment. They rear their heads again, making the task of walking away an emotionally daunting one. We've already spoken about how we become attached to our situations, to our roles and identities within these scenarios. Now, it's time to understand why these attachments make it so hard to walk away. Imagine being bound to something. Physically bound. It's not just about breaking free. It's about the pain you have to endure in the process. It's about the injury you might sustain, the strength you need to muster, the fear you need to overcome. That's what attachments do. They create a bond formed over time and reinforced by memories, experiences, and emotions. And breaking this bond is no easy task. Yet, It's essential to understand that these shackles we wear are not always made of steel. Sometimes they are formed from spider's silk, insidious, almost invisible, and surprisingly strong. We become so used to these bindings, we hardly notice them anymore. We accept them as a part of our identity, as part of our reality. But just like the spider's web, these bindings can be broken. They can be shattered with one powerful stroke of self-worth, self-love, and self-respect. We also need to remember that attachments are not inherently bad. They are, in fact, the threads that weave the fabric of our lives. They connect us to our loved ones, to our passions, to our dreams. It's the quality of these attachments that matter. It's about whether these attachments liberate us or restrict us, whether they help us grow or hold us back, whether they bring us joy or cause us pain. The fear of the unknown kicks in when we think about breaking these attachments. This fear stems from the uncertainty of what lies ahead. It's like standing at the edge of a precipice, the other side shrouded in darkness. The fear of falling, the fear of getting lost, the fear of the unknown can be paralyzing. But here's the truth about fear. It's a natural response. It's a survival mechanism designed to protect us from harm. It warns us of danger, urges us to tread carefully. But fear is not an oracle. It cannot predict the future. It can only warn us based on past experiences and perceived threats. So, when fear grips you, when the darkness ahead seems overwhelming, remember this: the future is not written yet. It is a blank canvas waiting to be painted with the colors of your choice. The fear of the unknown is just that, fear of something that does not exist yet. Hence, walking away is not just about leaving something behind. It's about journeying into the unknown, about discovering new territories. It's about the courage to step into the uncharted, the determination to craft your own path, the resilience to thrive in uncertainty. It's about realizing that the power to shape your future rests in your hands. You see, walking away is not an end. It is a beginning. It is the first step towards a journey of self-love, self-growth, and self-discovery. So, gather your courage, embrace your power, and take that step. Because the beauty of life lies in its unknowns, its surprises, and its infinite possibilities. Walking away is indeed a journey into the unknown. It is a journey fraught with uncertainties and fears, but also with infinite possibilities and opportunities. But how do we know when it's time to embark on this journey? How do we determine when it's the right time to walk away? For this, let's delve into some philosophical and economic principles. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once used the analogy of a smoke-filled house to represent the harmful situations in life. Imagine being in a house filled with smoke. You can't breathe, you can't see, and you're choking. What would you do? Would you stay, hoping that the smoke clears by itself, or would you leave to find fresh air? The answer seems obvious, doesn't it? But the reality of our lives isn't always that straightforward. Because unlike physical smoke, the harmful situations in our lives aren't always visible. They aren't always evident, especially when we're in the midst of them. Now, let's use some insights from economics to help us understand when it's time to leave our metaphorical smoke-filled houses. One fundamental concept in economics is the cost-benefit analysis. It's a straightforward method of decision-making that involves comparing the costs and benefits of a course of action. If the costs outweigh the benefits, it's a cue to reconsider our path. If we find that being in a relationship, a job, or any situation is causing more harm than good, causing more pain than joy, causing more stress than peace, it's time to reevaluate. It's time to consider walking away. Here's where another important concept comes into play: the sunk cost fallacy. This is when we continue investing in a decision solely because we've already invested a lot and don't want to waste that. Let me illustrate with an example. Let's say you've invested a significant amount of money and time into a project. But over time, the project isn't turning out as expected. Despite the evident pitfalls, you continue investing in it because you've already invested so much. This is the sunk cost fallacy. We often fall into this trap in our lives. We continue investing our time, energy, and emotions into toxic relationships, jobs, or situations simply because we've already invested so much. But here's the thing. The time, energy, and emotions you've already invested, they're sunk costs. They're in the past. They cannot be recovered. By continuing to stay in a harmful situation because of these sunk costs, you're not just losing your past investments. You're also losing your future opportunities. This brings us to the concept of opportunity cost. In economics, opportunity cost refers to the potential benefit that is given up by choosing one alternative over another. By choosing to stay in a harmful situation, you're giving up the potential benefits that could be reaped from better opportunities elsewhere. Think of it this way. Every moment spent in a toxic environment is a moment lost that could be spent elsewhere, in a healthier, happier, and more rewarding situation. Every moment you spend enduring the smoke in the house is a moment lost that could be spent breathing fresh air outside. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting that we should leave at the first sign of trouble. Challenges are part of life, and overcoming them is how we grow. But there's a fine line between facing a challenge and enduring toxicity. There's a difference between a storm that'll pass and a perennial cloud of smoke. So, when you find yourself in a smoke-filled house, pause. Reflect. Analyze. Are the costs outweighing the benefits? Are you trapped in the sunk cost fallacy? What are the opportunity costs? And ultimately, is it time to walk away? Remember, walking away doesn't mean you're weak or a quitter. It means you're strong enough to make difficult decisions for your own well-being. It means you have the courage to leave the known for the unknown, the courage to face the uncertainties of the future, the courage to find a new path. And as daunting as it may seem, it's this courage that paves the way for growth, for change, and for a better tomorrow. It's important to understand that walking away is not simply an act of walking away from something. It's also an act of walking towards something. It's about moving away from the smoke-filled house and walking towards fresh air. It's about stepping away from what's harming you and stepping towards what can heal, grow, and truly fulfill you. But there's an inherent fear in this journey, the fear of the unknown. When we're in a harmful situation, as painful as it may be, it's familiar. We know its contours, its patterns, its rhythm. We know what to expect, even if what we expect is pain. But when we think of walking away, we're confronted with the vast, uncharted territory of the unknown. We don't know what lies beyond. We don't know what awaits us. And that can be terrifying. The fear of the unknown is deeply ingrained in us. It's a primal instinct, a survival mechanism. Its roots lie in our evolution as a species, in our journey from being cave dwellers to the complex human beings we are today. This fear protected our ancestors from the various threats they faced in their unfamiliar, volatile environments. But today, this fear often holds us back. It keeps us tethered to our harmful situations, despite the pain they cause. It keeps us in our smoke-filled houses, despite the suffocation. It keeps us from exploring the possibilities that lie beyond, from realizing our full potential, from living our best lives. The fear of the unknown can manifest in various ways. It can be the fear of failure. What if I leave this job and can't find another one? What if I end this relationship and end up alone? What if I step out of this smoke-filled house and can't find my way back? It can also be the fear of regret. What if I make a mistake? What if I regret my decision? What if I realize that the smoke wasn't that bad after all? These fears are valid. They're real. And it's okay to feel them. But it's also important to remember that they're just fears. They're not reality. They're not facts. They're not certainties. They're just possibilities. Just like the possibility of finding a better job, a healthier relationship, a house filled with fresh air. When we let our fears dictate our decisions, when we let the fear of the unknown hold us back, we're letting our past dictate our future. We're allowing the smoke of the past to cloud our future. We're forsaking our potential growth. our potential happiness, our potential success for the fear of potential failure, potential regret, potential loss. It's important to face these fears, to understand them, and to work through them. Because only then can we make informed, conscious decisions. Only then can we decide whether to stay or to walk away. But how do we do that? How do we face our fears? How do we know if they're just fears or warnings? How do we know if it's our instinct telling us to stay or our fear holding us back? Again, let's look back at the principles we discussed earlier. Weigh the costs and the benefits. Are your fears justified by the costs? Or are they just fears of the unknown? Are the benefits of staying outweighing the costs? Or are the costs hidden by your fears? Remember, your past investments are sunk costs. Don't let them cloud your judgment. Don't let them feed your fears. Consider the opportunity costs. What are you potentially missing out on because of your fears? What could you potentially gain if you overcome your fears? Remember, walking away is not just about walking away from something. It's also about walking towards something. It's about walking towards the unknown, towards the possibilities, towards the opportunities. And yes, the unknown can be scary, but it can also be exciting. It can be liberating. It can be full of hope. It can be the fresh air you've been longing for. So, when the smoke fills your house, when the harm outweighs the good, when the costs eclipse the benefits, don't let the fear of the unknown hold you back. Don't let the smoke cloud your vision. Don't let the fear dictate your future. Walk away. Walk towards the unknown. Walk towards your potential. Walk towards your future. Walk towards fresh air. To better navigate these complexities, we can take a cue from both philosophy and economics. Stoic philosopher Epictetus used the analogy of being in a smoke-filled room to describe circumstances that are beyond our control. According to him, when you find yourself in a room full of smoke, you do not stay and complain or attempt to fan away the smoke. You simply walk away. This analogy serves as a simple, yet profound guide for when it's time to walk away. It's about recognizing when a situation is harmful to your well-being and having the courage to step away. We can also draw from economic principles, specifically concepts like cost-benefit analysis, sunk cost fallacy, and opportunity cost. These principles can serve as a guiding framework to decide when to stay and when to walk away. In its simplest form, cost-benefit analysis is about weighing the costs against the benefits. It's about evaluating whether the benefits of continuing in a situation outweigh the costs. In any toxic situation, be it a job, a relationship, or any other scenario causing harm, it's essential to assess the costs and benefits objectively. If the costs, which can be emotional, physical, mental, or financial, exceed the benefits, it's a clear signal that it might be time to walk away. However, humans, being emotional beings, often fall into the trap of the sunk cost fallacy. We tend to make decisions based on the time, energy, and resources we've already invested in a situation. We think about the years we've spent in a relationship or the sacrifices we've made for our job. These are our sunk costs, the costs that have already been incurred and cannot be retrieved. This can often blur our judgment and prevent us from making objective decisions. We need to remind ourselves that the past investments, the sunk costs, do not guarantee a better future. They should not influence our decision to stay in a situation that's causing harm. Because the truth is, no matter how much we've invested in the past, it does not change the present toxic situation. It's essential to view the current situation for what it is and not through the lens of past investments. Another economic principle that can guide us is the concept of opportunity cost. This is the value of the best alternative that you miss out on when you choose one option over another. Every moment spent in a toxic situation is a moment lost that could have been spent elsewhere. Every minute you spend in a harmful job is a minute you're not spending in a job that could fulfill and uplift you. Every day you spend in a toxic relationship is a day you're not spending in a healthier, more nurturing relationship. These are your opportunity costs. Understanding and applying these economic principles can provide a more structured approach to deciding when to walk away. It can help us navigate our fears and attachments and guide us in our journey towards walking away. It can empower us to step away from the smoke-filled room and step towards the fresh air, towards a more fulfilling and rewarding life. When we walk away from a harmful situation, we are not just walking away, but we're also walking towards something. Towards better opportunities, towards personal growth, towards our well-being. Walking away requires courage, but remember, it's an act of empowerment. It's a signal that you value your health, your peace, and your future more than staying in a toxic situation. Humans are complex beings, and sometimes we struggle to walk away. We struggle with our fears, our attachments, our sunk costs. But it's essential to remember that even in these struggles, there's growth. There's learning. And these experiences, whether we choose to stay or walk away, shape us and guide us in our journey. Walking away isn't easy, but sometimes it's the best thing we can do for ourselves. It's a step towards embracing our self-worth, our potential, and our future. So, when the costs outweigh the benefits, when the smoke gets too thick, do not be afraid to walk away. Because beyond the fear and the uncertainty, beyond the smoke-filled room, lies a world of opportunities. A world that's waiting for you. To take this understanding one step further, let's delve deeper into how these economic principles can be applied to our lives to help us navigate the complex decision of walking away. The cost-benefit analysis, as mentioned before, is a practical tool that can be used to objectively weigh the pros and cons of a situation. It can be applied to various aspects of life, not just financial decisions. In a toxic job, for instance, the costs might include stress, unhappiness, and a negative impact on your health. The benefits might be a steady paycheck, job security, and maybe even professional growth. In this case, you'd have to weigh these factors against each other. Is your paycheck worth the impact on your mental and physical health? Is the job security worth the daily stress and unhappiness? It's worth noting that costs and benefits aren't always tangible. Emotional pain, happiness, peace of mind. These are all intangible factors that have a significant impact on our lives. They need to be considered just as seriously as the tangible factors in the cost-benefit analysis. Knowing when to walk away also involves understanding the concept of sunk cost fallacy. We need to distinguish between our emotions and the reality of the situation. Emotionally, we might feel like we've put in too much to give up now, but rationally, we need to understand that past investments cannot be recovered. They are sunk costs. Let's say you've invested 5 years in a relationship that's now become toxic. It's easy to think, I've put in 5 years of my life into this, I can't give up now. But that's the sunk cost fallacy. Those 5 years are gone, and holding on to a toxic relationship won't bring them back. What you should be considering is if staying in this relationship is worth sacrificing your peace and happiness in the future. Another essential concept to understand is the opportunity cost. Every choice we make comes with an opportunity cost. The cost of the opportunities we give up when we make that choice. If you're in a harmful job, every day you choose to stay is a day you're missing out on finding a better job, a job that could make you happy and satisfied. So the opportunity cost of staying in the toxic job is the happiness and satisfaction you could have attained in a better job. It's important to remember that these principles are not isolated concepts. They are interconnected and need to be used together to make well-informed decisions. The cost-benefit analysis helps us weigh the pros and cons. The sunk cost fallacy reminds us to not let past investments blur our judgment, and the concept of opportunity cost helps us recognize the potential opportunities we could be missing out on. So, when you're stuck in a toxic situation, assess the costs and benefits, understand your sunk costs, and consider the opportunity costs. These economic principles can guide us, provide us with a structured approach, and help us make informed decisions. They can help us understand when it's time to walk away. Walking away takes courage. It's not easy to leave something familiar, something you've invested in, even if it's harmful. But remember, When you're walking away, you're also walking towards something. You're walking towards the opportunities that lie ahead, towards a life that's free from the toxicity you left behind. You're walking towards your growth, your well-being, and your future. The path might be uncertain and the journey might be challenging, but every step you take is a step towards a better life. Every moment you spend moving forward is a moment spent building a healthier, happier, and more fulfilling future. So, don't let fear or uncertainty hold you back. Don't let past investments chain you to harmful situations. Embrace these concepts, understand their wisdom, and use them as your compass. They won't necessarily make the decision easy, but they'll make it clear. They'll show you when it's time to walk away and guide you on your journey forward. The complexity of human emotions can sometimes act as a hurdle on our path. We're often clinging to situations we need to let go of, and we might not even fully understand why. It's important to remember that self-awareness is the first step towards change. Dig deeper, decipher your emotions, and understand your reasons for staying in harmful situations. It's also important to remember that walking away doesn't equate to failure. Often it's quite the opposite. It's about taking control of your life, prioritizing your happiness, health, and peace. It's about recognizing that you deserve better and taking steps towards it. Remember that walking away is not an act of giving up, but an act of stepping up for yourself. It shows you have the courage to let go of the familiar, step into the unknown, and build a life that's more aligned with your values, your happiness, and your peace. It shows that you're not willing to settle, that you understand your worth, and that you're brave enough to seek what you deserve. These decisions are tough, no doubt. There will be moments of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You might question your decision. You might feel the pain of letting go, but remember to trust the journey. Trust that each step you take away from the harmful situation is a step towards a better life. And when you do make the decision, when you do walk away, remember to be gentle with yourself. These changes are significant, and it's normal to feel overwhelmed. Take your time to heal, to adjust, and to embrace the new chapter of your life. Remember to carry the lessons from your past experiences with you as you move forward. Learn from your past, but don't let it hold you back. Use these lessons as stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. Use them to grow, to become stronger, and to make your future better. In life, we all face moments of choice, moments where we need to decide whether to carry on or to walk away. And in these moments, remember the power you hold. Remember that you have the capacity to change your life, to walk away from harm, and to walk towards better. Remember the wisdom in Epictetus' analogy, the guidance in economic principles, and your power to choose. And use them to navigate your path, to understand when it's time to walk away, and to step towards a better life courageously. In conclusion, life is a continuous journey of learning and growing. And walking away from harmful situations is a part of that journey. It's a decision of courage, of self-love, and of growth. Let's remind ourselves of the power we hold, the choices we have, and the potential we possess to create a life that's in harmony with our well-being. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it has given you some valuable insights and tools to use when facing tough decisions in your life. If you enjoyed it and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more such content. Remember, each video is a step towards understanding, growth, and betterment. And as we navigate through this journey of life together, let's keep learning, growing, and evolving.